Actually, I just opened an email not too long ago from Lori. I'm not sure where she got the idea, but she emailed me saying, I think it would be a cool idea if Kaitlyn and Aaron did a song for the talent show this year. And she also included a song. I was thinking this song, Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better, from Annie Get Your Gun. And I had never seen it. I'd heard of the song, but that's about it. And so I said, sure, that would be fun. And that's kind of how it started.
For the very first skit, I came in and I had words written on my hand because I couldn't remember the lyrics, and Kaitlyn had hers memorized, and she has never lived that down since.
Mom told me, she was like, so Mrs. Klingelsmith is looking for somebody to sing this song with Aaron, and she was wondering if you'd want to do it. And so Mom showed me the video of Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And I was actually like super like honored because I've always loved the Klingelsmiths. And so the fact that Miss Lori was like contacting me for that, I was like, oh, really me? So yeah, that's how I got into that.
Okay, show off. I bet I can sing it better than you can.
No, you can't.
We'll just have to see about that.
I guess it was kind of like my introduction into actually getting to know Aaron, because generally it's just in group settings. So, like, you know, he would come into the living room like when we were about to start practicing with like this, some sort of like mask on, and I was like, what are you doing? And I was like, take it off. And he's like, no, I want to practice with this on. And so I was kind of like getting to know him. I was like, oh, so he's kind of a strange creature.
I can live on bread and cheese.
And only on that?
Yeah.
So can a rat.
And I know you can reach, I can go higher.
I can sing any note higher than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Nice try. Yes, I can.
Yeah, it actually got me more into it. Just like, it just felt like a professional performance. Like, people were laughing and clapping, like, on cue. I was like, yeah, and I like really got into it, like, more than I did at the practices, if I'm remembering correctly, because, yeah, the audience was pretty into it.
Yes, I can.
I can eat my Snicker faster than a flicker.
I can eat it quicker and even sicker.
I can open any safe.
Without being caught?
Sure.
That's why I thought you crook.
I no longer.
I will no longer.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. Yes, you can.
I just remember thinking I was overacting, and I thought it was silly, and then watching it over again and being like, we are so stiff. We're sticks. But Kaitlyn always was doing such a great job with being so animated. I was just over there like, oh.
I can say anything faster than you. No good is can. No good is can. No good is can. Yes, no good is can.
I can jump a hurdle.
I can catch a turtle.
I can knit a sweater.
I can fit it better.
I can do most anything.
Can you bake a pie?
No.
Neither can I.
I didn't really think about the response that much. I mean, like, I don't even know. Like, I didn't realize that it was that big until like a couple weeks afterwards. Like, Mom would tell me how many views and shares it was getting, and like everyone was like, oh yeah, Mrs. Moody was totally the first person who just like stood up and like gave you a standing ovation. And then other people were like, no, it was Gabe. Gabe started the big standing ovation. I was like, wait, it's a competition? So yeah, I didn't know that it was that big for a while. That big. I'm talking about like it's trending. It's not.
The performance was quite a hit. Do you remember anybody talking to you about how good that first performance was?
No, never. Never was brought up. Yeah. Pretty much everybody in Teach after that was singing that song over and over again. Whenever they saw us, they'd be like, anything you can do, I can do better. And they'd usually, yeah, it was really great.
Lori kind of handled the first year. We had practices at her house, but she came up with the song, she came up with the intro, she made the script and all that kind of stuff. I was there, but I didn't really do much for the first one.
2 seconds in.
Night or day,
Right or wrong?
forever the champ, here I am.
It's never need a towel on your gas.
The next year, when they wanted to do it again, she's like, well, I don't have a problem with Aaron doing it, but I kind of can't be in charge of it anymore, so if I wanted them to do it, I had to do it. And they picked up, the next song that they picked out was Friendship. And so that was helpful to me because they know more songs than I do, like that. And so they came up with the song, and I basically was in charge of all the getting togethers and all that. Came up with emotions, helped them come up with emotions.
We're out to die for a run. It's friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have ceased to gel, ours will still be swell. La la la, hip hip hip.
I like the rehearsals better for anything you can do, I can do better. That's probably because, like, with Friendship, like, Aaron was pretty busy around that time, and so was I. Like, I was lead for Annie, and he was, like, in the best of Broadway. He had all this stuff going on, and I didn't actually realize how busy he was at the time. So when I did find that out, I was like, oh, shoot, I was, like, taking up time and stuff. Also, this is, like, when I was starting to go, like, introvert and not enjoying performing as much. So it was like, I don't know how much I like this.
It's the one shirt, don't be hurt.
If you're ever in a million solid half, I won't laugh.
It's
When
So
other
I definitely enjoyed anything you can do, I can do better, rehearsals more. Still did like Friendship. I don't want to make it sound like I didn't like Friendship.
if they ever cut your throat, spread it out.
If they ever make a candle soon, you find it too.
What are you saying? That's not even nothing. When all their friendships are up the creek, ours will still be slick. La la la. Quack quack quack. Quack quack quack.
Quack, quack, quack.
Quack quack quack.
What do I sound like, a duck?
Oh, only when you sing. When all their friendships are ever gone, ours will still be hung. Quack quack quack.
Friendship, the one we did with the song Friendship, I just love that song so much, and it just really kind of explains our friendship a lot. We're like perfectly explains it because we're always trying to make fun of each other and like say something that's kind of mean but not really mean, and then we like always revert back to a funny joke, and then we'll compliment each other, and then like attack each other the next minute. So it perfectly describes our friendship, and I love that song a lot.
I enjoyed the practices a lot more. I think that's just because our friendship was getting better. Introvert thing, that wasn't going away. That was getting a lot worse. I was going even more introvert than I was the year before. But practices were actually a lot more fun. Like, if I was doing a performance, it's generally because the fun that I experienced in the practices outweighed the pain and suffering I endured for the performance. So yeah, that was the case with Let's Call the Whole Thing Off.
You say either and I say either.
I say neither, you say neither. Either, neither,
Neither. Let's call the whole thing off. You like potato and I like potato.
I like tomato, you like tomato. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato.
Let's call the whole thing off.
If we call the whole thing off, then we must call better, so we better call the calling off. Let's call.
Definitely the dancing part. We don't talk about that anymore. That's what stands out. You
So-
can't tell with my blurred face, but I was winking.
Let's call the whole thing off.
I guess the one that I enjoyed the most and I think was the best choreographed was the fourth one. Aaron came up with the song. So I went online sometime in the morning, when nobody's awake, and I started listening to versions of it. And there was this one that stood out to me. It was some other, just a guy and a girl doing a talent show performance of it. And they had a really cool choreographed routine that they did using a hat, and they had guns and stuff like that. So I took out the guns because I didn't think that'd be appropriate for what we were doing, but I really liked their interplay with the hat, and basically switching the hats back and forth, and I thought that was really fun.
Is that Kaitlyn?
Yeah, I could do without you. That was the next one. Movie came from Calamity Jane. I really liked that one. I was very into the idea. I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna speak with Western accents. We're gonna dress like cowboys and cowgirls. We're gonna have hats. It's gonna be great. We didn't do the Western accents thing, but it was still. So far, it's still my favorite practice thing that we've
I thought we
ever
called the
had.
whole thing off. That's what the song was called.
No, remember? Let's call the calling off.
Yeah. Then we said, let's call the whole thing off.
I remember wearing some boots for one of the shows, and I was like a foot taller. And I remember walking up on stage, but like literally got those boots that night. I had never worn them before, and they had like an inch or two of sole. And I went up on stage, and I remember seeing Kaitlyn and being like, she's shorter than normal.
Better than you.
Oh, yes, you can.
In the summer, you're the winter. In my finger, you're the splinter. In the banquet, you're the stew. You! I can do without you.
In the garden, you're a gopher. In the Levi's, you're the loafer. Like an overturned canoe. Well, I can do without you.
You can go to Philadelphia. Take a hat to Hackensack. Hey! I'll never shed a tear for ya. Or fear for ya to come back.
In the question, you're the why. In the ointment, you're the fly.
Though I know some things are indispensable, like a buckle or two. If there's one thing I can do without, I can do without you.
Okay, I pulled out the chair, I sat down, and he's supposed to pick up the hat while he's down the ground, I think. But so he goes to reach for it, but he's not actually looking. He's looking at me while he's doing it. He's like, and falls a little bit. But you can't really see from the camera's angle. But it was so funny. you wouldn't know it, but it's hilarious.
In the theater, you're the boom. I can do without you.
You got skills, they ain't be tricking me. You got a face no one would paint.
I got the day to fidget me, to be wherever you wait.
In the bullfrog, you're the croak.
In the forest, poison oak.
Though I know something.
I had never done this before, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. There's this part where I grab the hat and I go to put it on, and it's the final lines, I can do without you. But I turned it sideways and put it on like an idiot, turned to her, and she held it a laugh. It was so funny.
My favorite memory would have to be the day that we took the blooper video. So basically, I always go over to his house to practice after teach, and there was one day that he couldn't do it at the normal practice time, so we had to come over at 6 or 7. And with teach, I wasn't really enjoying it because my introverticism was at its peak. And so I was very exhausted by the end of the day, and then I was coming over at 6 or whatever, and so I was just very tired. And Miss Lori, after a couple practices, she was like, try being a little more expressive. I was like, okay. And after that, I was very slap happy. Just everything was hilarious. And we started going over the song, I Could Do Without You. And I couldn't keep a straight face, and I was worried that Aaron was going to be like, dude, we're in the middle of something now. But then he started acting just as stupid and ridiculous as I was, and it was amazing. It made, like, the best practice ever. So, yeah, and actually, at the end of that day, I was like, I all of a sudden had, like, a lot more energy. Because for some reason, after practices, I was actually a lot more energized for some reason. It, like, was very recharging, even after something like Teach. So, yeah.
They were just slap happy and just tired and just ready to be done. I'm like, one more time. And so they did it, but they started being silly, and then I just kept recording, and they didn't realize I was recording until the end. And but they were super thankful that I did, because it's just, they like to look back at it and just laugh.
Okay. So you mean...
Stop.
Jagged, stop here.
Sorry.
So you mean it still bothers you when I say either?
The word is either. Are you okay? Is that insulting? I'm sorry. A little word like that. And he's torn to shreds.
You're hurting me. You're just being difficult.
I can't be difficult.
Okay.
And if you can remember better than you.
Oh, yes you can.
Oh, I know.
You're not helping.
And you are. Excuse me. In the summer.
Marcy
You're the
down.
winter. You're the splinters.
This dude. God, you're the joke. But this is very great. That's the canoe part.
I'm gonna stay sitting down.
Show you.
Go to Philadelphia. Take a half to half and
Okay.
stop. Hey! Hold on. Or feel free to come back.
You're the Y. In the white man, you're the fly.
Though I know some things are indispensable,
Really?
like a buck or two. I actually don't know what that means. I can do without. I can do without you. Buck or two and that.
In the barrel, you're a pickle.
I hate pickles.
You're a nickel. You're a tack inside my shoe.
Mike.
Ow! I can do it without you.
No, in my stomach. You're a dagger. You're a mangy carpet.
Really?
It's all yours.
You got a face no one would paint.
It's impossible. It's itching me. I'm scared out of my mind right now.
Gross.
In the farm.
I'm fine, buckaroo. There's nothing I can do without. I can do without.
You're not
You're
him.
bigger.
You're both him.
Go away.
Keep it.
No, you didn't give it to me. We both time.
Oh.
You. You think you were recording? You think you were recording that one?
What's that?
But
Our friendship was just kind of at its peak at that point, so it was just, yeah.
I'm number one. You're number two.
Oh, like criminals at large.
Except I'm larger than you.
So you're number one, and I'm number two.
I believe in equality as long as you get less than me.
I'm number one was actually my least favorite for rehearsals because I didn't actually think we were gonna do it. We didn't have much time. I forgot how much time we had, maybe like a month or so, and less than that to get it ready for auditions. And like I said before, I was at a point where I enjoyed the practices more than the performances, and the fact that we only had enough time to prepare for the performances just made it a lot more stressful for me personally.
He's number 2. I'm number 1. I can't believe my friend looks like an amphibian.
She's number 2. I'm number 1.
I'm number 1. You know life's gone to the dogs when your friend looks like a frog.
I can see it's just a matter of time before she sees that I'm at the front of the line.
Keep dreaming.
The performance ended up being pretty nice, but the practices were a little bit of a struggle on my end, so sorry if that offends you, Aaron. I'm sorry if you're watching this.
I'm number 1.
Just don't know I'm number 1. That's how it's done.
So last year's performance, Never Get This Right, it was a proposal song. And so Aaron comes up with this song and he's like, yeah, I want to do this, but I want to change the lyrics. And I'm like looking at it and go, yeah, this is one of those songs I'd play and say, no, we can't use that song. It's too mushy-gushy, lovey-dovey stuff. But he had a couple ideas and he told me the kind of the direction he was looking into. And so we pretty much completely rewrote the entire song. A little bit Aaron, mostly me. And I sent it to them for approval and stuff like that. But it turned out to be one of the most fun performances that they've done.
I'm glad we're at a point in our friendship where we can just sit and talk. You know, no frustration, no anger, just fun, quippy conversation.
And like one of the things that I do like about the talent shows with Aaron is that like because I get stage anxiety and I don't like performing, it makes it a lot easier with the practices that we do because it's not professional like at all. It is like an hour or two of us acting completely unprofessional. So by the time I get on stage, like I'm not as nervous as I usually would be. And I was actually talking to Martin one time. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure the thing that you're most afraid of when you're performing with Aaron is that you guys are just going to burst out laughing. And that is incredibly true. Like, it really helps that I'm performing, like, with one of my best friends, and that the scariest thing that could happen is we mess up and start laughing.
It's not you, it's me. The timing and the setting aren't what I thought they'd be. You would shut down any burn that would get you anyway.
Maybe he just needs some space. No, I should just come out and say, you'll never get this right, Aaron. I can shut down any roast you can make.
Get this right.
And you
From
get
Frozen 2, but it wasn't in there. It was just in the album. We switched up the lyrics and made it a song about how he's trying to roast me, but it's pathetic.
Hey, those are some pretty ugly shoes.
Maybe you've seen better with a pink nightlight. You'll never get this right.
No, stay wherever you are. We're gonna try this again. You're so obtuse, Kaitlyn. I could criticize the way that you dance. I'll show you how it's done, goofball, and then you'll see that you have no chance.
Are you okay? You could plan to read a poem or even play a little blues.
Oh, here's the thing I gotta say. Oh, I didn't bring a shoot.
So this went very well.
Good night.
He didn't get this right.
And he is one of my best friends. And I guess sometimes like if he doesn't do a hat production or if like one of us weren't going to do Gusto or something, then that's really the only time that I'd get to spend with him. And like every year that I like come back for it, I'm like, oh yeah, we do have a good friendship when we actually hang out. And it's a lot different than just like getting to know each other in a group setting. It is not the same. So, yeah.
I'm gonna get this baby.
That will be impossible to do.
I'm gonna make you cry.
Tears of laughter by proving that I am better than you.
I'm gonna write it in the sky.
Your plane will crash into the trees.
I promise I will strive
To be the number 2 to me.
But Kaitlyn, I am trying with all my might.
I promise you, I'll never let you do it right.
I mean, what I said before, I would not want any other partner. I mean, like, okay, I have a lot of guy friends out there. I'm not trying to insult them, but I definitely would not want another partner for these things. You're the best.
So I got that right. Awesome. We're gonna be there in the way we deserve. We got this right. Friendship. Long as we sing our friendship will preserve. I'm gonna be the friend you want.
Guess what you already are.
I'm gonna make your life so fun.
You're doing pretty good so far.
We got the hard part over